Going live.
Okay, we are going live. Hold on, let me just...
No, it's too late.
No!
It's too late. No. It's done.
It's done. We are live.
Good afternoon. Welcome to a Grace Westminster Friday live stream. We have Con here.
We have Becky here.
Who's been tangoed, for those who understood that.
And then my face explodes. We should have special effects here. You just go, you know.
What are we doing? We're going to do a sort of part 2 of our film photography challenge just to show, I have to give a sincere apology to the people that I missed off last week's photography challenge because they were... The photos were there ready to go, but I thought the last photo I'd shown was the last photo in the folder. I didn't realize there were a few more. So we will go through those shortly. Sam just said she was watching the As December Falls new video. For those who don't know, that's an Irish emo rock band. You should go check them out.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day for those who celebrate. I know that St. Patrick's Day is a really massive deal in the States.
Yeah, you can call me Ryan for today.
Okay.
Just today, for this hour only.
Just now.
Yeah.
I'm
Ryan from Dublin.
Is that so?
You like my Irish accent? No, it's awful.
It's terrible. But anyway, it's really nice of you to join us. For those who are stateside, yes, we're an hour different. I think we're an hour later than usual.
Yeah, so United States changed their clocks a week before us. So they've done it last week, and we're 2 weeks, and then we're going to do it this Sunday.
No, not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Okay, well.
Yeah, end of March. Anyway, so...
Weird people, those British.
So those last... Yeah, that's a given. So the next 2 live streams will be at different times, but well done for you who have made it. And thank you very much to Marvel and to Jean for your contributions to the Coffee Fund. That's very kind. Coffee Fund is open.
Yay!
For those of you who are here, give the stream a like. 137 viewers and 49 likes.
Oh yeah, we hit 18K on our subs. Did you know that?
I didn't actually know that.
So now it's countdown to 20K.
Fantastic.
If you haven't signed up yet, click that button.
It's only 2,000 to go.
Exactly.
They're from Ireland, not Nottingham.
The Irish people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, according to them.
Irish people are everywhere.
They are.
So
they are indeed. So we're actually gonna give you good folk out there, the option to choose your next photography challenge. We're gonna do a poll in a little bit, but we're gonna do it after because there's always some latecomers. We'll do it about halfway through the stream, I think, or a little in a bit.
Yeah, we'll wait for class to come in.
Wait for the
full,
attendees to come in. But in the meantime, David says, "Good morning from Ottawa. I must say, excited to see my 26 f2.8 pancake arrive yesterday. Look forward to giving it a good test run. Guess what we were shooting with yesterday? That one. That's right. That's it. That is the 26mm. That's actually with the lens hood on. So if you take the lens hood off, that's how little that lens is. Look at it.
I can remove it from the body.
It's so tiny.
That's pretty thin, isn't it?
It is. So we were actually at the Society's convention yesterday, Society of Weddings and Portrait Photographers, or SWPP, as some people are known. Yes, David St. Patrick was Welsh, but never mind.
So
Let's not go there. So SWPP, we were there yesterday. We saw some stands.
For our American folks, it's like WPPI, but a lot smaller.
Oh, a lot smaller than WPPI. Yeah. So in Las Vegas last week was WPPI, which is Weddings and Portrait Photographers International. Same thing, but the UK version essentially. And we had this kind of mini version, SWPP, which happens most years. And there were some Nikon creators there talking. There was the lovely Tiana Williams, who was doing a sort of talk about wedding and maternity, beauty photography, a few other Nikon names in there. But I will say there was no Nikon stand, which we were very sad about.
There was a Canon stand, Sony, and Fujifilm stands. Yeah, that's all we want to say.
So we were wondering where the Nikon stand was. But anyway, it was good. And then after that, we shot with the 26mm. I will have to say thank you to Adrian.
We have Heather Angel in the chat.
Yes. Thank you very much for your contribution
Thank you
as
very
well,
much.
Heather. And Peter is listening/watching whilst hoping to photograph foxes in the field next to my house. That is cool.
That's really cool.
I like that. So I have a couple of thank yous to give for February. I did not do the coffee fund for those people who contributed via PayPal. So we have to say big thank you to Richard Dong, who came into the shop, actually, in person, all the way from Canada.
When?
In February.
Ah.
Yes. So I know it's a little bit of a delay, but it's because I hadn't had a chance to do this. And then we had Roy Ju Yul Klein Lugamore. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your contribution to the Coffee Fund. Thank you to Robert Rowe, to Ian Willard.
Thank you. To
John Peterson, Neil Watson.
Thank you.
Dan Stanzioni.
Thank you.
And then once again to Ian Willard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I wanted to make sure that we did those because before I know it, it's going to be the end of March and then I'm going to have to do it all over again for the March people. Thank you to also Mark, who said, Happy Friday, where's your coffee? Yeah, I didn't have time to get my coffee beforehand.
Yeah, today's a sad day for me, actually. You know why?
Why?
Because, I follow football. I follow Crystal Palace. They just sacked their manager.
Oh.
Patrick Vieira.
Is that sad?
I have mixed feelings, I mean, I really wanted him to succeed. I think he was great for the team, but, he's gone now. So and now we're in a limbo,
You have to move on with your life.
Exactly. And now we don't know if we're on the 12th place, but we're very close to relegation. And we have 2 months to stay in the game and survive.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
The heat is on.
So we're going to talk about football for the rest of the show today.
We're not, 100%. As soon as we talk about anything Premier League-wise, I zone out because just not. Yeah, I just cannot. Anyway, so... yes, someone's sad.
Exactly. There's one person on the chat who understands my pain.
So, yeah.
So, shame.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, I guess,
Don't ask me. Anyway,
you have to cheer me up now. You see, I'm like bringing it down, and you have to be all positive.
I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to say I want to show you some beautiful pictures.
Exactly. Let's do that. Let's do that.
So these are 5 images that should have been shown on the film challenge. Do you have the emails handy? Can you?
Yes, I can open them. That's for sure. Yes.
I can tell you the first one up is from Steve Taylor.
Yes. Okay. I haven't deleted the folder. It's all here.
That's great. So I'm going to show this image.
Let's find Steve.
This is Steve's image. Because there's only 5 pictures, I can do it the fancy way now. And I can do it up on the screen. Mm-hmm. So this is a beautiful. Steve sent a few pictures, and this one was by far my favorite because of the layers of. Just the layers that are going on in this picture. As I say, he sent a few. What did he shoot these on?
Well, first of all, the lighting is fantastic on that shot. But he shot it with Nikon F3 and 50 f1.2 AIS lens.
Nice. Or 24-2.8.
24-2.8 AFD, which is also really good. It's on Isle of Wight, where he lives.
Oh, wow. Anyway, it's beautiful. The lighting is perfect. There's like this little detail of something being caught in the light in the middle there. I love all the different layers. What's the film stock on that one?
Well, he mentions FP4 and HP5 now because I renamed all the files.
Yes.
I don't know which stock is this, but
Great.
Looking at that shot, could be anything, really.
It could be shot with anything. Well, that's that one. Okay, so then next up we have Terry Breedlove. Now, Terry actually sent us a few shots. We picked 2, both of which we think well worth a mention. And these shots were taken when he was. It's right there.
Okay, it's the second one.
Yeah,
that's why. So here we go. So we got Terry here. We got 2 shots. F100 in the house with a 51.8D lens and Tri-X 400 film. Now, F100 51.8D. This is amazing package.
It's a great combination. It really is. And this is a really stunning shot that he took there. Did he say when or where?
2014 in Vietnam.
There you go. And the other one, which I wanted to include just because this was my sort of top pick of the ones that Terry sent. But this one also, I just really love because he managed to capture it. It's such a great moment.
Yeah. Do you think he was running after the bicycle?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if it was opportune. I think it was just an opportune passerby. But the fact the little girl turned around at that minute and had a little look over her shoulder.
I think it's a great street photography shot, and one of the options we will give you today to choose your challenge will be street photography.
Yeah, exactly. We quite like the street photography ones. There's another one coming up in a minute, but next up we have Tim Dalton, who sent this lovely, dreamy looking color shot here. Now, Tim was one of the earlier people to send us a picture, I think, and I am just wondering whether he sent me the email.
That's what I'm thinking. No, here it is. Here it is.
You got it? Okay, good.
All right, so here we have Canon AE1. So that's one of those cameras. When if you look into Canon film cameras, this is one has been mentioned quite a lot with the FD 50mm 1.8 lens. Again, nice, small, not in today's prices expensive package. You know, those can be had really inexpensively. And that one was in Clear Creek in Golden, Colorado.
There you go. And what film is it? Sorry, I missed that. I don't know if you said it.
I don't see any film.
Okay.
Dimension of film.
We don't know what film it was taken on, but I do love the pastel-y colours of it.
Could be a portrait, who knows?
Really nice, yeah. And then the last one was by Yongjun Chang, who also sent a few pictures over to us. This is another great street photography shot. And I really love this. Of all of their pictures, this was probably my favourite one of them. This was taken with what?
Nikon F6. So
F6 for the win.
On his first trip to Japan in 2012. And it's a Fujifilm Neo Pan 400.
Wow.
Which is sadly has been discontinued now. I think we have only one black and white Fujifilm stock at the moment, which is Acros 100, I believe, or something. Yeah.
There you go. So that was that, and I mean, you can agree, I'm sure, that of those shots, that one is the one that kind of draws you in.
Yeah, great lighting as well.
Yeah, lovely. So thank you everyone once again who sent over pictures. I had quite a lot of feedback afterwards from people, from viewers of the live stream who said, wow, the challenge was great. You know, the pictures were fantastic. The people who
we have very talented viewers.
Very talented viewers. So everyone was very, very happy. And as you can see from the comments in the live stream chat as well, well done to all of you who achieved those and took those photos, but also thank you very much for sending those over. As Kevon said, F6 is the GOAT, which is true. It is such a great camera. I really love it. But that F150 combo, David Roberts said, 100% agree.
Yeah. Well,
agree.
I have F100, 51.8, and 28.2.8D. That's it. Those are perfect kind of street shot cameras. A bit loud sometimes.
Yeah.
I was once in the train, and this guy with a beautiful hat, and when he was reading the book.
Yeah.
And I was going after football games, so I was a little bit intoxicated. So, I just lifted my camera and I took a shot. And that clang, the whole carriage could hear it. He looks at me and he said, "You should have asked." And I said, "I should, but it's my stop now, so I'm going to leave." And I left.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
And that shot wasn't even worth it.
And it wasn't worth it?
No.
Was it underexposed?
Well, it was really dark. It was like 11 o'clock in the evening. So there is a little bit of motion blur there, but I might publish it at some point.
Well, it's tough, actually, because you've got that kind of, you want it to be candid, but at the same time...
You've got F100?
You've got an F100 and everyone can hear it.
But at the end, you've got Pentax 6.7.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't do photography on the tube with the Pentax.
Not trying to be discreet with that.
Definitely not. That's everybody can hear you for a mile radius when you shoot with the Pentax 6.7. Yeah, that's a landscape camera if ever there was one. I get weird looks when I take pictures with that. So the first challenge, as we know, was to capture an image on film. Some of you, I understand, you kind of like bent the rules a little bit and were like, I don't have a film camera, so I'm going to dig one out from the archives, which was fine. We let that go. But also, it is a challenge.
Just for this time, really.
So this time, we want you to go out and take pictures. And we're going to give you an option, and you're going to create a poll, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to, and I can't find it.
You can't remember how to create a
poll? Yeah, that's a good question. Hold on.
Google, how do you create a poll?
Or maybe because you're in there and you're controlling the thing.
Engage, start a poll. It's at the bottom, and the plus sign.
Is that the plus sign? Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Let's engage then. Let's engage.
Let's engage. So we're going to give you 3 topics, and we're talking whole genres of photography. Back when I used to do a regular challenge via the newsletter, so those old subscribers of the Grays of Westminster newsletter might remember that I used to give it like a clever name, you know, New Beginnings and Spring Has Sprung and stuff like that, or Together. and then you just have to run with that concept. I was kind of following Nikon's example a bit, but now we're just going to take a whole genre because we want to see what you're going to achieve without having to make you think of something weird and maybe overly clever. So we're going to give you the options of, street photography, which Con just talked about. We've had some great street photography shots. Portrait photography, which again can be anything. It can be location, sort of environmental portraiture. It can be staged, outdoors or indoor studio portraiture, anything like that. And then the last one is going to be wildlife, because we do have a lot of wildlife photographers in the chat. I know we do. And I mean, I would be really interested to know what everyone votes for. And then whatever you vote for, we're going to talk about that and set up that challenge.
So we're improvising.
Yeah, so it's completely improvising today.
Yeah. You see, that's exactly what I told you is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You see that?
Because I know what our people shoot. So Yaman asked a question, and I'm going to answer this while you're all voting. Said, last stream I heard an insinuation if you upgrade your Nikon owner to a physical subscription, you get all the older issues. Did I misunderstand something, or is it really the case? So all of the old issues, whether you're a subscriber to the physical magazine or an electronic magazine, all of the back issues for the last 25, nearly 30 years are available online through your Nikon owner subscription account. So you don't need to have the physical magazine to access those. We don't have physical back catalog anymore, apart from one of each magazine for our archive. So we can't unfortunately send you many back issues beyond, I think we probably have going back to about issue 73 or something like that. So we usually will give you the last one or two or something if you're in the shop. Very, very expensive to post magazines. So if you are subscribing from overseas on the electronic subscription, obviously we won't send you any magazines, you'll just get them electronically. But you will get the last physical magazine, or potentially the last two, depending, when you do a physical subscription magazine subscription, I should say. So hopefully that makes sense, Yaman. Basically, whatever subscription you do, you will always be able to access the back issues of the mag. Tony says, woohoo, wildlife is winning. So, I mean, we can talk a lot about wildlife, but you did say that you've done enough wildlife.
I literally said that I don't want a wildlife, but let's put it there and it's going to win. And that's exactly what's happening right now.
As Agile River points out, 80 people need to like the stream. Yes, please do like the stream. We hope that you like it, even if you haven't pressed the like button.
Shall I exclude wildlife photography from the poll? Shall I rig the vote?
You can't do that.
No.
All right, get your votes.
Apparently, where I'm from, rigging the poll is a common occasion, so...
I'm saying absolutely nothing. So human wildlife, aka street photography. Yes, Kevin. I mean, not everyone has access to wildlife in the sense that we're thinking of. I've never been on a safari before. Never in my life. I know that some of our viewers probably have had the opportunity to do that. But I do like to find wildlife on my doorstep, Or we went to the big cat sanctuary, for example. That was a way to shoot wildlife. But street photography is definitely going to be easier for most people, I would say. So if you're feeling like maybe it should be street photography, then put your vote in there for Con's sake. So that we could do it.
It's fine.
Would you like street photography or street photography?
We're going to be done with wildlife after that. And we'll never mention it again.
Yeah.
Unless you can release another 5 wildlife lenses, one after each other,
I am definitely hoping that what we see next is not wildlife lenses. Tony said, you can photograph your local robin. That's wildlife. It's true.
Well, anything is wildlife, foxes, squirrels,
Yeah, we've got
cockroaches if you got some.
Wildlife. That's more like...
what, my first night in New York.
Yeah.
I go to the kitchen. It's dark, it's
no.
And I hear something is like, I hear some movement. Switch on the light and there's a massive cockroach.
Oh, I can't.
Sitting on one of the cabinets, and then it flew.
No.
Before I saw cockroaches about that big, like 1 centimeter big. That was like a couple of inches guy, that was scary.
That's just foul.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, to answer the question, Christoph said if it will be wildlife, is macro included? If it's some kind of animal, then yes.
Insects, yeah. Insects are animals, apparently.
He wouldn't let me put macro as an option. So let's just,
All right, look. Macro. Okay. So here you go. Like I'm watching Last of Us right now, so I've started watching this.
Oh,
so
no.
fungi is included,
Oh,
but
so
it should be
now-
inside the ant to control it.
Okay.
So there's a very specific exclusion, you know?
You can't take a photo of that, I don't think.
I mean, if you played video game, The Last of Us, incredible video game. The show is good, but not as good as video game. It's like a book, you know, when you read a book
Yeah.
and then you see an adaptation, the book is always better. So in this case, the video game is always better.
Yeah, that is just the way it goes. Yeah, as Kevon said, no, thank you. I think that's in reference to the cockroach. I'm not sure.
I thought it could be macro photography as well.
Maybe it was some macro photography. We have to say congratulations on 1,000 subscribers to Chuck, who
Well done,
I think
Chuck.
is in the chat. So well done. And Vahan. He's correcting how I'm pronouncing his name, but I don't know how to pronounce Vahagen. He said pronounce it with a G. Vahan.
Okay.
Vahan, you're going to have to just teach me one time.
But you can't blame us. We say Nikon instead of Nikon as well.
That's right. We say Z instead of Z.
Exactly.
So there you go. Deborah said you shouldn't have let us vote. We just choose it for you.
Do you know how Brexit happened? They let people vote.
Let's not
get there yet.
Let's not go there. Wildlife, does that include London on a Saturday night? Sure. If you see some foxes in there, some urban foxes, some pigeons, I think.
I saw a fox once on the top of a car
Yeah, me too.
in the middle of the night and looked at me and just buggered off.
Not bothered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foxes are brazen around here. They really just don't care. So you'll probably find our toadstools included. No, Nick, toadstools are not wildlife technically. So yeah, we're sticking with anything from the animal-based family, I guess. How are we doing on the poll?
Well, wildlife is winning at the moment. I mean, it's a quite a lead, I would say. So there's mind trying to convince the audience to vote for something else, but wildlife is not going to work, I think.
Okay, fine.
So I'll just exclude that option.
So let's talk a little bit about your wildlife photography challenge.
Okay, yeah, about my wildlife photography. I'm not a wildlife photographer.
I know.
But due to us, shooting those little videos on YouTube, we've tested quite a few of those, and we've been in quite a few nature reserves, which was very interesting and kind of interesting learning experience for me. So I've learned what it is like to hold a big lens, where to put the strap, on which part of the camera or lens to put the strap on. There's a lot of little things I've learned like this.
Yes.
But I also learned that you don't need to be somewhere in Africa to take great shots of wildlife.
No.
You could take shots locally if you can. You also don't need to have expensive lenses. Obviously some of them are quite expensive, but if you got something like 200 to 500, a lens, that one is reasonably priced under £1,000. Even 70 to 300 of mount lens can be used sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's wildlife photography. I'd say it shouldn't be expensive, but of course, unfortunately, with this type of photography, the better equipment you have, the higher chance you have to capture certain shots.
This is very, very true. But I will say that we're not necessarily going to be looking at... I mean, I have done these wildlife sort of photography challenges in the past, and people have... What they've sent is I took this with my 600 f4, I took this with my, 500... FL or whatever, and we're not going to be concentrating on the equipment. We are really going to be focusing on what the shots look like. Really, really simple requirements is just that it's taken during this time period. When are we going to end this challenge?
I think end of April. Yeah, so
end of April.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's good 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that gives you plenty of time.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you absolutely cannot take a wildlife photo in the next sort of 6 weeks, then you can dig through the archives. Or if you've got one that you think this is it, this is my career-defining shot. I need to send this to Becky and Con.
Yeah.
Then send that one.
I think the important bit of a challenge is actually you have to do some work now.
Yeah.
So not that you just go through your archives and send us some shots.
That can be considered quite hard work.
Okay. But we want you to to maybe get out of the house, get some shots, and as Becky said, we don't care much about the equipment. Of course, we're gonna mention what it was taken with if you send us the description. But I think the idea is any shot with insect, animal, you name it, counts.
Some kind of wildlife.
Exactly.
For sure.
Human beings are not included, though.
No.
Yeah.
So Wildlife Photographer of the Year, if you haven't seen that little video that we did, we went to go and see the Wildlife Photographer of the Year exhibit in the Natural History Museum. We got to speak to some of the staff there. For me, it was a really moving experience. It's one of my favourite buildings in the world, let alone in London. And I really love that competition just because of what it represents and what it manages to bring to light for people. And I've met some fantastic photographers through Wildlife Photographer of the Year. So if you want a little bit of inspo, you can have a look there. The thing that really struck me with that competition was the talent of the under 18s and under 10s and under 14s categories. Like there were some young folk there that, my goodness, the sheer level and quality of their work, even though they were shooting, they were on a holiday with their family and they were shooting with a D3000 or a small, compact camera. They were fantastic shots. So there you go.
Did I tell you that I taught a winner of the Young Environmental Photographer of the Year?
No.
I told the guy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's your little claim to fame.
I'll tell you. I'm going to I'm going to show off. I'm going to throw some names here.
You should.
So this shot taken by Faiz Khan. He's, I think, 15 or 16 now. When last time I saw him, he was 14.
That's right, I do remember.
So he took this shot. So maybe we should just send the link and see if I can send the link into the crowd.
If you can send the link, then I can share the link, and then I can click on the link and share my screen. So
his name is Faiz Khan. Okay, Faiz.
I'm going to read your comments in a minute for those of you who are commenting.
So this shot, 14 years old.
So it's this shot here.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nope.
No, it's going to come up. It's going to come up.
Oh, it does come up in full screen. And then I have to share my screen. Give me one moment. It's asking a lot of it.
It's loading up. Okay,
there we go.
And then you're going to do it.
That's the shot.
That's the shot. No, I haven't taken it. I've just explained what shutter speed is, what other folks most to use, And that one was taken on 7200 and D850 camera.
Wow,
okay, it was taken from helicopter. So.
Oh well, it's all right if you can.
It's nice when you're 14 and you can have a helicopter ride in Nigeria.
Wow.
But. It's a great shot. And obviously it's Environmental Photographer of the Year. So obviously it shows the nasties.
Yeah.
While they look pretty on the picture, it's actually not very good for environment, all this pollution. Yeah.
Stunning shot. Okay, so we're not looking for shots like that necessarily, but you can really just go use your imagination.
Yeah. Can you see the Con's touch in that image?
Yeah. It has a touch of Con in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Royce,
no, I'm just proud. I'm proud. I'm really proud that actually someone who I taught photography, how to use the Nikon cameras, actually can produce work like this. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's well done, you. That's brilliant. Yay. Roy said I'd send a kookaburra picture, but they don't know they're wild. But that's fine. You can send a kookaburra because we know they're wild, even if they don't. Baxter said perhaps I'll have to dust off my 500mm nickel. Is that a mirror lens or is it the big one? Vahan said since we sell gear, he's just sold his 600 FLE for 8K in US dollars. Did he do well? Yes, I think so. I think $8,000 for a 600 FL.
It was about like £20 in UK money.
It's about
back in 1770.
No, that's about right.
6.5, yeah.
Yeah, I would say no, 7.5, 6-ish. Yeah. I would say that's pretty good for Han, actually. I don't think that's too bad at all. Paul Montgomery asks an important question. So how do you send your pictures? So send it to media@grayesofwestminster.co.uk. Becky doesn't know our own media email. Blank.
Yeah. Okay, so the only thing is we have a limit on files over 10 megabytes, so those won't arrive. So what we suggest you is send your files via website like from Smash or WeTransfer. So if they're high resolution images, but if they're under 10 megabytes, you're going to be absolutely fine. Generally, we ask for one shot per person. We don't want 50 shots or anything like this, because we just won't have time to go through all your images.
We do what we did last week, which is forget that there were 5 more shots to show.
Exactly.
But also it's a lot, and I expect that there will be more people sharing their pictures for this challenge than the film photography challenge, because a few of you said that you couldn't do the film photography one.
Yeah, but if you send us several shots, then we reserve the right to choose one we like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we will showcase them at the end of April is the plan. So now there were a couple of equipment questions. You don't, as we said, you don't need to use expensive equipment at all. So a couple of great options. If you're a Z user, if you're a ZDX user, the 50 to 250 mil, Neil from Nikon School, Neil Freeman, he rates that lens very, very highly for general purpose and sort of bit of wildlife and travel and stuff like that. That's a great lens as an option. For the full frame users or DX users, you've also got the 70 to 300, which is a Tamron lens. But we've done a couple of reviews on that and it's done really well. And I would say you can absolutely, as long as it's not super fast moving wildlife, you can absolutely get away with that. There's other great F-mount lenses like the 300 f4PF, the 500 PF, beautiful lenses, and the 200 to 500, as you said. We also, I mean, I would say the Sigma 150 to 600 is also one that's worth having a look at, because it's a little bit cheaper than the 200 to 500 Nikon. It's a bit more compact and it has a slightly different range, but it's a very, very useful lens. As Baxter said, he just scales to web res for submission.
Well, live stream is 1080p, so anything 1080p or slightly higher than that is absolutely fine. Maybe low is not that good, but 1080p is not much. It's what, 1920 by 1080 in pixels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be big. As long as we can see it fairly clearly on our screen, we're not going to be pixel peeping or anything like that. So don't worry too much about the compression, and it has to be presentable to the wild public. The wild public? The wide public. You wild public, you.
I'm going out tonight, so I'm going to David Hockney exhibition, but it's a Friday night and it's a St. Patrick's Day night, so I'm going to probably see quite a lot of wildlife on the streets of London, Should bring my big lens?
You're going to take the 26 mil?
Well, the best wildlife lens for London is the 26 prime. Well, I would prefer 28, but I'm testing this and this is good enough.
Yeah.
So a lot of leprechauns.
A lot of leprechauns will be out tonight, that's for sure. Leo asked said, can we post a few on Dropbox or similar and let you take your pick? We would rather you choose, to be honest, the one that you want to submit. If you are going to submit more than, like last time we had some people send us 4 pictures, and that was very, very tough for us because we have to pick from that selection. So if you can narrow it down, that would be tremendously helpful.
I agree.
It will make our lives a little bit easier as well, bearing in mind that we do other things other than sit in front of the camera and talk to you for an hour every Friday. Believe it or not. But Roy said he's got a 1000 reflex Nikkor, so maybe the kookaburras would be good for that one.
That's a mirror one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a F8 or F11, isn't it?
F11.
Yeah.
What would you like to see? Like, what would you like to see people getting really creative with their local urban wildlife, or? Okay,
personally, I will be looking for more interesting shots than just bird with a wing spread.
Okay, so I won't submit my picture.
Well, no, because that's that's even for us.
Yeah.
I'm not doing wildlife photography. This is the first shots I've taken.
Yeah.
And it's great. But what I want to see is something interesting. Maybe I don't know, if there's an action happening, maybe that bird is catching the fish or something, like something's happening, like some situation that you will normally see, I would say.
Okay, so
that's for me. That's what I would personally probably would look in for. But obviously wildlife, again, you photograph the bird with a wide spread wings. It looks beautiful. Those are great shots.
It does. And if you can change perspective or do something a little bit different so it stands out, then all the better.
Yeah. So maybe a wide angle shot with a fox, when they have the shots, fox sniffing the lens or something like this. I would be more interested in that personally.
Trigger trap.
But what I want to ask is basically, obviously send us the best shots you think you've taken. We're going to look into that. But ideally, like for me, I would look into those kind of quirky shots that you don't normally see.
Yes, Con's all about the quirky shots.
Exactly. I'm so quirky.
Yeah, exactly. Champagne Sumo said, all I have in terms of wildlife is cranes and alligators.
Perfect.
Let me tell you, that's much more interesting than pigeons and what have we got? Pigeons and squirrel.
Exactly. Crane sitting on an alligator.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. And also crane sitting on an alligator sitting on a crane. Because we've got people from literally all over the world on this live stream, I really think that I find it fascinating when people are like, oh, your robin is completely different to our robin. Or, we don't have that animal. Wow, you guys have red squirrels, we have grey squirrels, etc. So it doesn't matter what you take a picture of. The theme wildlife is very vague and allows you to kind of do what you want with it, I think.
I agree.
And Ed said I could use my 80 to 200 AIS. Yes, you could, exactly.
You can use anything you want. You want to shoot on, let's say, something like 18 to 70 lens. Any lens that you have at your disposal, doesn't matter. That's the thing. I think when people start to throw, like I showed this on Z9 and 600 f4, okay, well, great for you.
Yes, well done.
But we believe that photography in general can be, good photography can be produced with any equipment you have at your disposal.
Yes.
It's up to you as a photographer to create this. So that's the thing. So be creative and ideally get out and take some shots. Don't send us some shots from previous years.
Yeah. Now, one thing I would say, if you're going to do birds in flight or anything involving moving subjects, always use the shutter speed much faster than you think you need. You'd be amazed at how, unless you're going for creative blur, in which case you can use the slower shutter speed. But fast shutter speeds are key with things like that. So nice bright lens would be really good.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people will learn when they're taking shots because obviously they'll say, use shutter speed priority maybe, go with that. And then they think, 500 over a second is fast enough. But then you start to photograph flying birds and you're like, I have to go to 1,000 now.
Yeah.
Maybe my lens is already at f8. And then I have to bump my ISO up, and all this. So there's a lot of learning process that you will go through before you actually get a good shot. And obviously, if you've got a high frame rate on your camera, that also helps because then, it's not just, let's say, taking a decisive moment, but you have a kind of a higher leeway of actually getting that shot because shooting, let's say, Z9 does 20 frames per second, but even shooting at 5 frames per second is better than shooting at 1 frame per second.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm also hoping that this will see some of you who don't do wildlife photography at all, like you're just not really interested in it.
Like me.
Like Con. I'm hoping that this will see you trying something new and different and getting out there and taking those shots. I know a few people who don't do wildlife photography in this chat who might give it a go. Baxter says the mice on the London Underground would be an interesting take on the theme. That would be really cool. If you could get close and low down, then that would be fantastic. Yeah,
wildlife is wildlife. So anything counts. And breaking news, we just got first submission. So this is from Ab Whitcomb.
Oh.
Here we go.
Look, just magic, yes.
Yeah, here we go.
Ab sent this shot a few weeks ago, actually, just as a point of interest, I think, or another shot it. Yeah, but now it fits in with the theme. So there you go. Fantastic. Well, I'm not going to spoil it and tell you what it is, but we've already got a shot. Well done. Well, points to you for being the first one in there. So Kevon said the 24-200 VR is the 35-300 on DX, right? Yeah, basically 36 to 300. That's really good for basic wildlife stuff. Fantastic. If you've got a DX camera, you've got a huge selection of lenses from which to choose. Champagne Sumo said, would using a Polaroid Instamatic be appropriate?
Yep.
Honestly, sure. Why not? I personally would love to see, I'm not so worried about the subject matter, but I'd love to see some quirky equipment being used for these shots. I love when people go, okay, I actually got this shot by, putting an old lens adapted onto my Z or my DSLR, or I used a TC16A autofocus teleconverter with my 80 to 200 f4 AI,
and then politely asking a bird to sit still and doing 5-minute exposure. Action shots taken on 8x10 camera. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Dave said, without getting run over by a train. Well, in South Kensington Tube Station, I must say, that's probably where I see most of my underground mice, and they're always on the platform, not on the train tracks.
No, I saw someone on Oxford Circus Station.
Not on the train tracks.
Yeah.
Just running along the platform.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, Baxter. There's some ideas for you.
know.
I mainly use the new Elizabeth line these days, but when using the older ones, I haven't noticed the mice for a while. I think that they haven't quite reached the Elizabeth.
It's too clean, too sparkling.
Yeah, that's it.
We still haven't used the Elizabeth line. We should.
No,
really.
we should. Yeah. We should just go on one day trip for the live stream. Just go on the Elizabeth
We just
line.
talked about it yesterday.
Go from Heathrow to the other, whatever it is, the other end.
To Dover. I know, it goes really, really far east.
That's it. Okay,
yeah.
good. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Paul said, I fancy getting a reflex just for the fun of it. Those reflex lenses are fantastic. In fact, I remember when Joe McNally picked up one, he bought one from us, a 1000mm, to do a really specific shot. I think it was in Vegas. And just to get that kind of special donut style bokeh. So it'd be very, very interesting. I was going to say, Ed, exactly. Yes, drunk people at weddings. Don't know if they count as wildlife. Probably portrait photography. Wait another
no nightclubs as well.
quarter for the next challenge. We don't want people. We just want the animals.
Yeah, then we're going to do street life. And then you can submit all your images from there.
All your drunk wedding guests can go in there. Just do a theme, drunk wedding guests.
Very specific. Well, we thought about travel photography, but travel photography literally includes everything.
It does.
So it's obviously not, okay, let's be a little bit more specific.
Yeah, I mean, there are other, obviously, in travel, you've got landscape, you've got architecture.
Portraiture, street life, could be wildlife.
Yeah.
It's all part of
macro.
travel. Exactly.
There's always an excuse for macro. So yeah, for sure. Yaman actually has a 1000mm reflex, said very heavy and extremely hard to shoot without a sturdy tripod. Some of those lenses are going to be challenging. It's always great when we get people's shots that say, I shot this with a Z9 and a 400 2.8. Fantastic. I'd love to see some shots taken with the 1000mm reflex. As I say, it's just for our own enjoyment and amusement. Drew said, just bought a D3S for £300. Bargain. With 372,000 shutter clicks, shutter actuations. That's pretty high. And he said, did I get a good deal? That we should do a whole installation of did I get a good deal?
Yeah. What's that show on BBC about people selling some ancient stuff and...
Ancient Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah, that one, Yeah,
but there's another...
Talking about D300, I'm just kidding.
There's another one which is probably a bit more on the right one, and I can't remember. It's like a car boot challenge.
Okay, we should do that.
A certain amount of money to spend, and it's like, what can you get for this, and what's the most valuable thing?
That's a good idea for one of the videos.
It is. So, Drew, to answer your question, yes, that's very reasonable for a D3S. It's a high shutter count on one of those, but we have seen them go up to 750,000 shutter actuations, 1 million shutter actuations. So it comes down to the life of the shutter and how much longer you can squeeze out of that, I would say. Don't you think?
I think so, yeah.
I think
agree.
so too.
I mean, Samantha says she's got just full hard drive of nightclubbers. I can tell you I've done one nightclub job in my life, and that was enough. I'd say you really need to kind of like you really need to love that to be there,
Yeah.
because it becomes rough very quickly, but it's you really need to love nightclubs.
I do not, so I don't think I would be right for that challenge at all. Yaman said, if I'm to participate in the new challenge, I'll probably end up with some pigeons or stray cats.
Why not?
I'm up for that.
Yeah,
I love a kitty cat, even if it's a stray one. Or maybe if I get very lucky, an Indian ringneck, Indian myna, or even some bulbuls or jerboa. I don't know what those are. I'm assuming that they're birds.
Yeah,
but I could be.
You've just said words I couldn't understand. But if you got lots of stray cats and dogs, which happened to me in Morocco, you have this beautiful thousands of centuries ruins in front of you, and all you take pictures of cats over there,
Well, I remember when I was in Rome, walking around the ruins and stuff. I mean, a lot of it's cordoned off, but there were cats living inside the ruins, and I was like, "This is so cool!"
The best memories, isn't it?
Kitties. Yeah, exactly. So, Selective Imagery said, "Just got back from bird photography. Not too good today. Salvaged by a lone brown pelican diving for food."
Nice.
When I go and visit my folks over in Florida, there's so many pelicans. There's actually a lot of birds over that way. I know we've got quite a lot of Floridian and sort of that way part of the States, East Coast viewers. You've got some incredible bird life over there. So I imagine we'll see a few of those. You've got the pink spoonbill and stuff. And there's even flamingos somewhere there. So I think it'd be fine.
Well, I've been in Sardinia last year. Lots of flamingos in there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't ever think that flamingos are in Sardinia. Exactly.
Oh, see, now Mike is saying street photography is gaining. Wildlife is now under 50%.
Well, we need to get street photography over 37% at least, you know.
Well, then
no, more than that.
We know
yeah.
that the next challenge is going to be street photography, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's that or that.
Or portrait.
No, but the street photography is beating portraiture. So I think this is like a first, second, and third.
Okay, fair enough. So street photography is going to be the next challenge, so probably for end of May or something.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Manila Martin said, I always enjoy pics from the other side of the world. See, people love our pictures from, the UK, and we love to see pictures from the other side of the world too. So we're really excited to see what you come up with. Michael asked if sheep count.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Any animal is fine.
That's right. I had a friend come over from the States recently. She said, there are sheep in the fields, just there all the time. I'm like, yes, that's right.
It's England.
Never been to England before. It's just how it is. And it must be amazing to people. And we're like, yeah, sheep. Yeah, okay, cool. A picture of the fox in the street ticks both boxes. Yes, Paul, that's
exactly.
Correct. Very, very correct. And so we've talked about lenses. We've talked about what we're kind of hoping for. We've kind of given a few tips and tricks, haven't we? And we've said another one.
I got another submission from Paul Lancaster.
So far, both birds.
Yeah.
So if you find something that isn't a bird, I think we're going to get a lot of bird photos.
Not Paul Lancaster.
Paul Penrith.
Paul Penrith.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's right. I think we're probably going to get quite a few bird photos because that's the way to do it. If you are not mobile or can't get out and about, then there's always what's at the end of your garden. That's also totally acceptable. And I think, Michael said the Soe wild sheep on St. Kilda. Never seen them before. But see, we have quite interesting cows, like not normal looking cows, the ones that look funky.
You do?
Yeah, not you, but down around my way.
We're in London.
Not in London. Down in the countryside. Combine harvester. So Champagne Sumo, just to reiterate, because you might have missed this earlier, you email your shot to media. I remembered it this time.
Yeah.
media@graysofwestminster.co.uk, and it has to be under 10 megabytes for the file. Send it over. Include what equipment that you used, anything that you'd like to add about the photograph. Obviously, we don't need a full artist statement and dissertation. We just want to know roughly where you were, what your settings were, etc. That would be fantastic. And hopefully that answers your question. Ed said there are several squirrels around here in Mexico, so I imagine we're going to see birds, squirrels, and stray cats. That's what we're going to get pictures of this week. Woohoo! See, we thought you were going to ask for street photography, so we brought this lens in preparation, and we were very wrong. But I would be interested to know who has picked one of these up and who has used it so far, because this little lens, this little 26mm, we're in the process of reviewing it. We're going to take a few weeks to review it properly because this one is actually the shop's one, whereas usually we get equipment and we have a week to shoot with it and we don't have much time to get out and take loads of shots. So for any of you who've used it already, you will have noticed that is it going to do it for me?
Well, let me put my hand on. Here we go.
See that? You see? Oh, can you really see? You can kind of see that. Do it again. Oh. Stay. There we go. So can you see how it kind of extends out like that when you focus with it, which is really strange. However,
if you put a lens hood on, you don't see that happening.
But you can never get it right first time because there's no way to put the lens hood on and actually see how it goes.
That's true. Oh, street photography is gaining. Come on, people. Vote for street photography.
Oh, it's too late now.
No, we run. There's another 10 minutes before the end of the live stream. Street photography can still win.
So that's what it looks like. If you do that, you can't see it protruding.
Yeah, but you can hear it.
You can hear it.
So it's not exactly silent.
Let me just ASMR. I wonder if you can hear that at home.
But we're going to test it. But also what we want to do next is actually get the 28mm out. We just don't have one at the moment, but 28, 2.8.
Yeah.
And compare it with it. Because at the moment, personally, I don't see the benefit of this lens at the price, a part of the metal mount.
Yeah.
So because if it extends like this, that makes it, not the size of 28, but it's also kind of makes it to stand out a little bit, So for the price, 28 makes more sense to me, but I would say I'm not sure yet because I can't compare the images. So I want to definitely do some tests and see what the difference is. Because at the end of the day, when people say, whoa, you're going to pay twice if you buy 28, it's fine. I'll have 28 for 3 years. I pay $250 for it, and then in 3 years I'll buy another 28. It's going to be brand new. Like for me, that logical buying, it's and 28 is the focal distance I personally prefer. But obviously, once we start to see the image quality, maybe that will be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I will be interested to see what the shots look like when we've sort of finished taking it out and putting it through its paces. As Roy said, it looks good but expensive. David said, just seen an email from Mike Eleftheriadis' wildlife photo walk. Someone knew that wildlife would win. So, for those of you who are not Nikon owner subscribers, you might not know, but we do photo walks with, well, not we, but Mike Eleftheriadis does photo walks with the London group, and then we have other regional groups around the UK. And if you want a local Nikon owner group, then you can absolutely create one. That's not a problem.
But shall we do photo walks?
We should do photo walks. We should.
Shall we? Tell us in the comments below.
That's interesting that Mike's doing a photo walk. I missed that. So there you go.
But you know what I'm thinking? If people who voted portrait photography, if you just revoke your vote and put it towards street photography, then we can make it happen.
Let's just let them have the wildlife. Then we're going to have a whole summer of street photography.
Don't worry. I'll keep trying. I know it's not going to work, but... I mean, I'm a whip, it's like in a parliament, you have a whip, according to House of Cards that I watched many years ago. So, so I'm trying to persuade people to watch, to vote for street photography. And we are gaining traction. We are 32% now. It's not bad.
That's not bad at all. I wonder, yes, I am friend. Does golden jackal with fish in the mouth? I assume so, unless this is a representation of something, unless it's a statue. Maybe the reference is lost on me, but basically any wildlife counts. You can just send it. If it's wildlife, it's fine. Send it to media@grayswestminster.co.uk and make sure it's under 10 megabytes and put a description and we will check it out. I know you got another submission while we were talking, so I saw it. It's exciting. Exciting.
The emails that keep coming in.
Oh, this one is,
that's such a beautiful shot.
That one's from Marvel.
So it's from Marvin Thomas. Yeah. Fantastic.
That's right. So far the bird photography is winning. We should have split up the wildlife into bird. Just call it bird.
Bird. Like Birmingham.
Bird photography. John says, I have both the 28 and the 40. The photos of them are great quality and they're inexpensive. I think they're terrific lenses, those two little ones. Vahan, I probably did say photo. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I need my coffee. Thank you to Paul for your contribution to the coffee fund. Really appreciated.
Thank you.
And to Chuck as well. Thank you so much.
Chuck.
Really, really appreciated. Ab is heading to Edinburgh next week. Unfortunate bad weather. Go to the Botanical Gardens if you get a chance because it's beautiful there. I went there many, many years ago and it was absolutely stunning. It's like, rivals Kew Gardens really in a lot of places.
What's that festival in August? The Fringe, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my plan. I want to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And go to see some comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy people act. Comedy people. Can we just stop now?
Comedy people that make funnies.
The people that make the jokes. Oh my goodness.
And then someone comes to you if you're a comedian, someone comes to you, I have a joke for you. It's really funny. It's like, when people, you're a professional photographer, like whatever, wedding photographer. And then wedding guest comes to you, it's like, oh, look at the pictures I've got on my iPhone.
Yes, I have seen that.
And you just face palm. You literally die inside when you do that.
You're like, no.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for your tips. I really appreciate it. I'm actually being paid to be here and not allowed to eat. So
exactly.
Leave me alone.
Which point and shoot camera is the best? I had this one once.
Really?
Oh, and then this Panasonic stuff. I was like, I don't know. I use Nikon. I don't know any other brands.
Clueless. Someone did actually say you should do a point and shoot camera photography challenge, but I think that will just end up with a bunch of iPhone pictures.
Yeah. How many people still have point and shoot cameras, not phones? Yeah. not the telephones.
Not telephones.
With wires and things.
And not. Are we talking like
dials.
also film point and shoot cameras?
Well, any point and shoot, so digital and film. I mean, apparently digital point and shoots are now all in vogue. Those young kids now say, "Oh, you want to have filming shots, but not pay for film? Here's this 3-megapixel camera that's gonna do."
I know, it's so weird, isn't it?
It's I find this trend to be a bit ridiculous.
Very, very strange. Anyway, I have 4 point and shoot cameras, but they're all film cameras.
Or Nikon?
No. I have one Nikon, two Kodak Rito, and one Rolly B35.
Okay, now you got 2 Kodaks, the L35, 2 Nikons, L35 and the waterproof one version as well.
Oh yeah, 35 Ti does count. Dave.
35 Ti. Actually, I am testing at this moment, so I'm having.
Like a Q counts, yeah, of course. For those who can afford it.
I have no comment. Like a Q counts. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you got Q2, even better. Yeah.
Beautiful. Kevin wants a 28 Ti. They are great.
But you know what? Like a Q2 costs $5,000, right? Mm-hmm. It's got built-in 28 beautiful lens. I think it's f2 or 1.4. I'm not sure. But why don't you just get an M Leica? Don't need to go for the latest one,
sure,
but cheaper one for let's say M10, 3.5, and then you get a wide lens at 28 for £600-700, or you get a Leica one for 2K. It's still, you get a camera in a separate lens. Yes, it's a little bit bigger, but still is very compact. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I don't know. I'm a bit like, obviously you're getting a beautiful lens built into your camera, but I just feel like I'd rather have 2 separate pieces.
Yeah, sure.
To make one. I wouldn't cost a lot more expensive, unless, of course, you go for M11, which is another price range.
It is another price range altogether. AW110 counts as a point and shoot. Absolutely. It's one of those little all-weather. All of these cameras, I mean, it sounds like quite a lot of people have these small point and shoot cameras. So maybe we can suggest that as a potential future challenge. But anyway, to answer Ed, who asked earlier, what is the deadline? Sorry, some of the comments are hilarious. So the deadline, we'll do it at the end of April. So let me just look at my calendar here. Mm-hmm. So we've got the bank holiday, we've got Easter bank holiday on the 7th.
On the 7th of April.
So I would say we'll draw our conclusions on the 28th of April.
So like anything up to 27th is fine.
Yeah. Then we'll put them all together on the 28th.
Yeah.
So 27th of April is the end of the challenge for you. If you have any other questions about the photography challenge, you can stick them in the comments at the end of the video. That's no problem. Or you can always email us as well, but sticking them in the comments is just as good. And just to recap for anyone who came late, wildlife was the vote. It won by 47%. Street photography was a close second.
Boo.
It was a
no, it's fine. It's a fair vote, and we're going to do that.
We are.
Whatever you tell us, we're going to do it. But it's up for a vote.
You ask, and we 197 votes.
Okay.
Look at that. And wildlife won by 46%.
Who voted twice?
I think that's really
Raise your hand.
Anyway, to answer right along with Randy, do they have to be recent? Preferably, we want you to go out and take pictures. That's why it's a challenge. So we'd love for you to actually do some current wildlife photography. Obviously, if you've got a picture that you have a burning desire to share with the group, but just one picture, mind, then you can send that over. But we would prefer it if you would actually. But
it's against the spirit of a challenge. Yeah. Let's say this. So, we want you to go and get some shots. So, as like some of you were saying, how do you, I'm kind of procrastinating a little bit. I don't know what to do with my photography. How do I find the creativity? Well, here you go. Here's the challenge for you. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a pro wildlife photographer, it's your bread and butter. But for some of you like me, let's say, who don't shoot wildlife, I'm like, okay, I want to participate in a challenge. I'm going to go get out, breathe some fresh air, take some photographs.
It's a great idea.
Exactly.
That's why we did it. So there you go. That's everything from us this week.
Yeah.
It's time for coffee.
It.
Now.
Exactly.
My brain is slowly shutting down from a lack of caffeine. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It's been wonderful to have all of your great interaction and chat. And honestly, we have so much fun with you all. So thank you very, very much for everyone who was here. And thank you also for all your contributions to the Coffee Fund, which was mega, mega appreciated. As Jean said, give a quick thumbs up before we sign off because more people voted than hit the like button. Thanks, Jean. You've got our backs.
And I support this message. I don't have anything to add. I'm just proud that we have a community like this that actually take photographs.
That's right.
You know,
we don't just
exactly
talk about
because we can talk specifications every time, but we want you to get out and take some pictures because we want to see some beautiful photography.
Exactly. So we will be back next week with, well, on Sunday we've got a video coming out. Can't remember what it is.
We'll find out.
It's some kind of vlog, and then we've got our podcast next week, and then we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend all and a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.